There's a sweet, sweet spirit in this place, and I know it is the spirit of the Lord. There's a sweet, sweet spirit in this place. Hey, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Hey, TikTok. Is everybody ready to wind this year down? Whew, I've been working on a house I'm trying to get ready to put on the market here, and hopefully after the first of the year sometime, over on Key Road. And so I got up and went over there. And anyway, good morning, everybody. I thought I'm just bored, and I got back home, and I figured Ava's out in the studio doing some Zoom meetings with Out on Film and other people. And I just woke up this morning. We had someone that we've had fellowship with for over the last 10 years at Metron, a place I attend over at Kirkwood Atlanta Theater with Jim Swilly and them. And she passed, and it just kind of really just kind of threw my head in kind of a weird space. Yeah, then it's kind of Thanksgiving, post-Thanksgiving, and kind of gray. And man, and then I don't know, maybe like I kind of read so much on social media, and I have so many people that I've come to know online. Of course, Dr. Sheila wasn't somebody I knew online, but she was somebody I knew in person for several years. But then a lot of people that I know that's online, and they're dealing with end of life situations and cancer and and then in this weird world that we live in, my brain place for the last 2 or 3 days is like, because finances have been somewhat difficult the last year or so, with the shop kind of going through transition of owning a blueprint shop. And a blueprint shop, although we've been there for 27 years, it still is, it's like owning a Blockbuster. Nobody needs DVDs anymore. So everything's becoming so digitized, and everything's so digital and online now that, good morning, Stephanie, over on TikTok. Nobody needs hard copies, what we call paper copies anymore. Everybody's just, everything's now internet, social media. And so if an architect needs to read some plans or something, they just pull it up on their laptop and they can read it. They don't have to have a paper roll of prints to go by. And I think in the last 5 or 10 years, there's probably been 13 blueprint locations around Atlanta and the exterior parts of Atlanta that have shut down. So anyhow, over the last couple of years, I've been dealing with the transition of transition of money's kind of just, and so that's kind of been weighty. And then I made a couple of posts the last few days about in 2026, and I still want to put this intention out there. Nice to see you. I think my algorithm says because I have been missing you. Yeah, it is weird, Stephanie, on TikTok. I get so many people, I'll do a live or something, and they're like, my God, where have you been? And there's not a day goes by that I don't upload something to TikTok. But TikTok is algorithms. You get in there, and they say by going live, whoever they are, they say by going live that it generates some more algorithms that kind of put you out there or whatever. And yeah, all these people that's saying, let me come online with you, and therefore, I don't do all that, so. But anyhow, the last few days, I have put this intention out there and I have a mindset. I don't know how, where, what, or when, but in 2026, I want to put this intention out there that somehow there will be more monies that come into my life. Yes, I tell y'all, I know I'm 70. I know I've lived a long life, and I know money's not the answer always. I know money can't bring you happiness. I know money can't bring you joy. Well, that's not exactly true because you could take money and go buy a little $3,000 French bulldog, and who knew that you could buy joy, you know? So money is a bridge oftentimes to joy. There's people go out and buy them a boat and dock it at the lake. In the process of that money, they bring joy into their life. It gives them great joy to just go sit on the boat and ride around Lake Hiwassee or Lanier or something. So I'm aware of that also. but then just in this weird headspace today, I'm like, well, I'm planning on 2026, and I want to open up the neuropaths and the brain waves and the universal putting it out there. The reaping what you sow and the laws of attraction. Stephanie said, honey, money could fix every problem I have. You know what? A lot of people don't like to admit that, but there's a lot of truth in that. If you got money, you can have easier solutions to whatever's going on. And so, yeah, I understand. And I know there's going to be a group of people as I do this over the next couple of months, as we head into the New Year's, like, oh, you don't need to focus on money. The love of money is the root of all evil. Money can't bring you joy. Money can't bring you happiness. But I rebuke you. That's not complete truth. I put this out into the universe that 2026 is going to be a financial year. I'll even put this out there. All the things I've done in my life, I call them home. And I do believe that if you give, it shall be given back to you. Y'all, I could not tell you the times of just in the Waffle House alone. And whether you think I'm full of shit or whether you think, well, that's really blowing your own horn and tooting your own whistle. I wouldn't be getting on the line saying something like this. That's neither here nor there with me. I couldn't tell you the times that I have been sitting at a Waffle House and had a ticket for $8 or $9 eaten by myself and reached over and handed the server $100 bill because something in my spirit just says, I did that the last time I did that, maybe a year or so ago, I was sitting over here on Virginia Avenue in Hapeville. And this young African-American server, female, and back then I wasn't eating meat, so I got 2 scrambled eggs with some grits and toast, and got me a Coke, and I think altogether it was $9 or something. And then I called her over and I said, ma'am, thank you for this thing. I paid my little $9 on my little debit card. And then the girl that was ringing me out there served me, I handed her a $100 bill. And then I felt a little bad about it because she saw it and she looked at me and she busted out crying and walked back in the back, and didn't say thank you or bye. It just made her so emotional. So anyhow, when I think about times like that and the other times that I've been a giver my whole life, just been a giver my whole life. So I'll read some of these comments later. I've been a giver my whole life. But I want to send the signal out to the universe. I'm calling a lot of that back. I'm calling it not back, but calling the reward part of that back. 2026, I want to see my accounts get more fluid, get more money. And I'm not going to tell you to go give tithes or, call upon Jesus. Jesus is the way maker and this and that and the other. I don't know the answers to that. And if anybody else out there tells you they got the answers to prosperity, they're full of shit. Nobody has the answer to it. There is kind of a universal law, though, that what you send out comes back to you. And there is a kind of a universal law that if you're kind to people, people will be kind back to you. If you give, the giving will come back to you. And so anyhow, I haven't said all that. That was on my mind the last 2 or 3 days. And then there's a lady, a Dr. Sheila that goes to Metron that passed. She was 79. Excuse me, I burped, didn't I? There was 79, and she passed unexpectedly. Hadn't been sick, driving to Chattanooga and St. Simon's, going to meditation weekends. The week before I turned 70 on September the 26th, the week before I turned 70 was the last time I saw her. And Ava and I had got to Metron, 10, 15 minutes before Jim starts to speak or whatever. And Dr. Sheila was sitting in front of me. And, we were sitting behind her and good morning, all like that. I said, Dr. Sheila, next week I turn 70. And she told me, she said, I turn 80 in January. And and then she told me, she said, yeah, I'm telling you, that 70 is going to go by real quick. And then I turned around and told somebody I was turning 60. I'm like, ooh, them 60 is going to go by real quick. And so anyhow, in thinking about that, and just looking back up on it, and feeling somewhat, she passed unexpectedly. She had an aneurysm in her heart. She didn't know she had that. And, long story short, she had an issue with it, and they rushed her to the hospital. And after a week or so, she passed. And but it did a number on my head, making me think: am I ungrateful? Am I not appreciative enough? I mean, a lot of people would trade their life in a heartbeat to have the life that I live, to have a little home that's paid for, to have a business that's somewhat struggling, although it's on its last leg, maybe. But my 2 daughters, my 3 grandchildren, Ava, I mean, we're all healthy. And then it does, then at this age, it does kind of a head twist on me also that, my God, that could be me. I mean, I could be out here raking the yard this afternoon and just fall over dead for no reason, just fall over dead. And here I am worried about finances and money and getting more money for 2026. Well, I tell you what that is. That is, and I believe Dr. Sheila did this also. You make plans on living right up until you're not living no more. You make plans on living until you're not living any longer. I don't care. You might be listening to this right now and you might like, Eddie, the doctors just gave me a year to live. Well, make plans on living longer than a year. Just make plans on living. If you don't want to live, get out of here. You can will yourself to die. I've known people in my life like, I just really want to go. Sure enough, after a little while of that attitude, they were gone. If you don't want to go on home. Ain't nobody making you stay here. But for many of us, we plan on living. I plan on living to be 80. I plan on living to be 85. I plan on living to be maybe 90. But I don't want to live no longer than 90. You might say, well, 80, when you get 88, 89, you'll change your mind. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think at some point you've had enough. But anyhow, it is a balance. I remember this, and my sister Vicky's on Facebook right here. I see her. I remember one time my Aunt Betty Carter, she had diabetes real bad, and she was about to head out of here, and they'd give up on her. She's bedridden, and she had moved in with Vicky and was in the living room, had a little half bed or some bed she was laying on. I remember I went by to see her, and I took my guitar because back then there was such power in song. And even like this morning, I did my morning walk for some of you people. As long as you feel all right, you will want to live. Yeah, that's true too, Stephanie, as long as you feel all right. Because I'm telling you, if I had to live in the kind of pain and discomfort that I've seen other people live in, I'd be like, I'm not afraid of that death. If I had to get up every day and like, oh, I'm just hurting so bad. I'm just hurting so bad. I know me. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to live like this no more. I'd rather go on and get out of here. And so there's truth in that also. But anyhow, getting back to my Aunt Betty as Ava's coming in from her stuff, I went by. I remember this. I went by, and Betty was laying on the bed. My Aunt Betty, and bless her heart, she died not long after this. But I pulled up a chair and I took my guitar and let me see, y'all give me a minute. Hello.
Hey, Merle Stack may call you because he sent something for me to combine and send back to him, but them files ain't readable. So
okay,
if he does call you, just tell him to send another file. Those were unreadable.
Yes. Okay. All right. Hey, Denny from West Bear Lake, Minnesota. I'm sorry, y'all. I think that might have knocked me off of TikTok. Maybe it'll come back on. But can y'all hear me on TikTok? Am I still making sense? Because the phone call might have knocked me off. Mr. Denny, White Bear Lake, Minnesota. But anyhow, I pulled my guitar up to my Aunt Betty's bed. And I remember this. Hey, Michelle, I'm going to get busy living today and get my behind to the gym after all the eating for 2 weeks. Yeah, we have to plan on living, y'all. The reason that I walk every day and I put it online is to maybe exhort other people to think about it and also to maybe encourage people to do it. But the reason I walk every day is because, God dog, I'm 70 years old. I want to freaking live. And if I do live, there's a part of that. If I do live, I want to live to be healthy. I want to be able to get up and move around. I want to be mobile. And so, yeah. But anyway, hey, TikTok, can y'all hear me on TikTok? So, because Caleb called me and that might have messed my sound up on here. But anyway, I pulled up the guitar to my Aunt Betty. And there's an old song we used to sing when I was a kid. It said, to Canaan's land, I'm on my way where the soul of man never dies, where my darkest night will be turned to day, where the soul of man never dies. And then, of course, it said, there's no sad farewells, no tear-dimmed eyes. Thank you, Danny. No la, 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 no tear, where the soul of man never dies. Well, when I got to singing the chorus, Betty is laying there, had a little sheet over, my Aunt Betty. And boy, she flipped that sheet off and she stood up on the floor and she said, everybody's making plans for me to die. She said, but praise be to Jesus, I'm planning on living. And she started dancing and doing her little hands, bless her heart. But I remember that she said, I'm making plans to live. She did live. She lived several months after that. So, but anyway, when I think about when we get surprised when somebody up and passes unexpectedly, somebody that was healthy. Hey, Stephanie, it kind of does a head twister on us, yeah, it does a head twister on us of what's important to us as we go forward and live in life. Hey there, Cuban Bull on TikTok. I mean, on Facebook. And all you people on TikTok, good morning to you out there. Eddie Williams Sellers sitting here in my dining room, just coming to y'all, piddling and diddling and talking. And I don't know. I just kind of been in a weird little space this weekend. Just kind of, it's kind of gray. It's cold. It's rainy here in Atlanta. Got people dying. End of the year. Thanksgiving's behind us. We got a short December ahead of us, and the year's going to be over. And I've been just trying to scratch my head and figure out what to do about finances and how to in 2026 to go forward and put more money in the accounts to pay the bills and everything. Not to good morning there, Iris Harris. Raining here in Texas. Good morning out there, TikTok. Yeah, it rained here the last couple of days. It did a little raining here. Hey there, Miss Pam Pam. Good morning to you. If I go live, will you watch me? Well, I want to, but I'm afraid nobody will watch me. Of course, if it notifies me you're going live, the thing I tell people about going live is just go live. So what if don't nobody watch you? That's what I'd say. But there's always somebody that'll watch you. So anyway, just kind of weird Monday. I really hated that Dr. Sheila to pass though. But, like when I reposted Jim's thing about her online, he just put together a beautiful bidding her farewell post, and I reposted it on my Facebook page. And and like Lisa commented, Leslie's Lisa, she's like, well, at least she's not suffering no more. I guess each his own. I just hope I never wind up in a situation where I'm on life support and my body is shutting down and my brain's losing activity and all that stuff that we've all seen and been through with ICUs and, the trauma care. I just hope I don't have to go that way, I hope I just go. Somebody said, what happened to Eddie? Like, he just fell over dead back there in the backyard. He was just out there minding his business. I looked out there and he done fell over dead. I hope I go like that. And but y'all, there's something about this conversation about dying and death that being raised up in apostolic, Pentecostal, religious Christianity, I don't know. I think it put a fear about it upon people. A fear about, oh my God, are they going to make heaven? Are they going to hell? Are they all this kind of weird fear about it? And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be something that what's best, go out in a blaze of glory or just fade away? I think about that sometimes. I don't know. I just hope when I do go, I just hope I don't linger in a ICU unit for 10 or 20 days and all that kind of, all that life support and that smell. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. So anyhow, y'all, life's something, isn't it? So anyhow, I still want to go. I still want to say this, and I want to plan on living in 2026, and I want to be healthy. I want to have my legs moving. I want to get up and walk. Eddie just makes flat-footed sense. Yeah. Thank y'all for the gifts over on TikTok and for the follows. And TikTok's still my bread. My bread. What is it? TikTok is still the butter on my bread. Yeah. The shame and fear they must have held to instill it in all their kids. Isn't that the truth? The fear of burning in a lake of fire and hell and torment and gnashing of teeth. Y'all, I might find out different when I cross over. I don't believe in none of it. None of that stuff. I don't believe in none of it. You know, I'll put this out there too. When I go, I'll go peaceful. I won't go holding on to the bed. I won't go hollering. I won't go terrified and in fear. I'll go peaceful because my spirit is peaceful. I'm a peaceful person, you know? And same. I want to plan a trip with Jesse back to Boston and do some more traveling. See so much more. I want to show my daughter everything. Yeah, you should, Michelle. Ain't you blessed to have a daughter? You remind me of Jill. Jill, I tell you, that's Michelle Sellers, my cousin. She's got one child, a daughter. My daughter Jill has Savannah. Lord, them two, they're just, I don't even know what's going to happen if Jill ever. Savannah wants to go to New York to go to university. Well, Jill's already like, well, I can work in New York. I'm like, let that child go up there and be in the dorm by herself. No, we'll rent an apartment. I'll go to New York. You can't separate the two up. When Savannah eventually falls in love with a man or woman or whichever way she's going to go with that, and her mama gets pushed aside a little bit, Jill's going to have a hard time readjusting to that. So anyway, let that baby live. Yeah, let that baby live. Boy, mamas, I tell you, they do. Some of these mamas, boy, they hang on to them kids. Yes, of course she is. Michelle says her daughter's the best thing that ever happened to her. Of course. Yeah, without question. You know. Anyway, good morning, TikTok. Eddie William Sellers coming to y'all from Atlanta this morning in a weird kind of headspace, kind of real funky and somber. And, that I've seen online. After I did my morning writing saying that I was in this weird headspace, and then I've seen an hour later where Dr. Sheila had passed, and which we all kind of knew she was after being at Metron yesterday and Jim talking about it's just going to take an extraordinary miracle for her not to pass. We all kind of knew that was coming. Could you listen to my song? It's pop gospel. I could listen to it if somehow we can figure out how I can listen to it. So anyway, y'all, how long have I been online? 27 minutes? Yeah. But listen, let me just say this as I'm winding down. There's a hawk or an eagle swirling around in the sky. I'm like, Lord have mercy. But let me say this. I'm going to plan on living for 2026. I'm going to plan on somehow, some way, the universe is going to make a pathway, a clearing for more money to come into my life. And y'all, you know what? I had unexpected money to come into my life last year because and it kind of shocked me. I did my taxes in October, and I knew about what I was going to pay, but I got a 1099 from PayPal where I had made $15,000 on TikTok or something in that neighborhood. So I sent that to my accountant. And taxes are so weird. It could have been nothing, but if you fall right in certain things, they hit you hard. So I turned around and had to pay like $5,000 of that back in taxes when they did my taxes, because it threw me somehow different than it typically does. But the bigger question is I got about $15,000. That was not even expected, just because I did a video of saying I support Kamala Harris, and it took off and I got to be a part of the campaign. I don't know what's out there for 2026. Is there something out there? Is there content creation that could put $100,000 in a checking account? Is there somebody? I'm just throwing stuff out there. Is there somebody that I wouldn't have never thought that's up and passes and leaves me $50,000? I'll take it. I'll take it. I want to be open to whatever ways. I don't, I'm not going to take and go get a job where I'm tied down 5 or 6 hours a day answering the phone for somebody, but there's so much money swirling all around us. Billions and trillions of dollars in finances and money swirling all around the universe. I want to somehow, however I can be open to it, to be open to it. Yes, for you, Eddie. Yes, there is. Come on, 2026. And is there any power in me doing this right here? Whether there is or not, I'll do it anyhow. I speak a blessing. Ooh, glory. Woo! Good heavens, I felt that. I speak a blessing over every single ear that hears me right now. That you will be prosperous in 2026. That the dollars will go further than you ever dreamed they would go. That the cupboard will be full. That the cabinets will be full. That your refrigerators will be full. That your gas tanks will be filled. That your income will increase multiple ways, in ways that will just shock you, where you say, oh my God, I never saw that coming. I speak that over every one of you right now, that you have an increase in 2026. As others are passing and dying and leaving us daily, we here right now plan on living, plan on being alive. I speak that over you right now. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's good enough. But when I said I speak this over you, I felt that quickening energy, whatever that is. That God that is our soul. I speak it over every one of us. I love y'all. Let me get out of here.